Hello, I'm Bert Oliver, and welcome to Bowie News and Views. And today, our co-host, John Rouse, is on a day off and will not be here, but we have Jan Butler, who's now assigned to the Community Television, Bowie Media Corporation, and going to be working in the studio here. So Jan, welcome. Good to have you.
Thank you so much, Bert.
And we're looking forward to some great things from you. I might mention a few things, Jan, about your history. You were executive director of the Greater Bowie Chamber of Commerce.
Correct.
And give me a little more information about what you've done.
Well, before I was the executive director, I worked with Anne Arundel Workforce Development Corporation, some of their accounting and a lot of the job fair programs that the workforce did. So that was both fun and challenging, depended on what stage of the planning stage it was and whether we were actually doing the event or not.
Yeah, that's great background, I'll tell you. And of course, Jan, this is a new position for community television, and the Bowie Media Corporation has asked you to handle this role, to work in the studio.
Yes.
Actually have an office here in the Bowie studio, and we go out on Verizon 11 and Comcast 77.
Correct.
And what I wanted to not only introduce you to our viewers, but also, Jan, talk about what is the board and what you're interested in growing, and it'll be in programming.
Absolutely, yes.
And you've had a good bit of time working here now. What areas do you see as where viewers can maybe recommend a program, actually their process of how to do it? Absolutely.
I would love it if they would email me and to give me their comments. It is actually for the community, the programming, and so we should have community input. And my direct email address is Janelle, which Jan is short for. So it's Janelle Butler at ymail.com. So you can just drop me a line and certainly use just Jan, that's fine. And give me, your thoughts. Our viewers out there, we're really wanting to hear from you. I know from being here a while now, about 5 weeks, that I really would like to see us have something a little more to do with entertainment. I would like very much to have us have something with children's programming. I think that would be excellent, like on Saturday mornings or
Absolutely.
Even maybe before school. Something similar to even what the library might do as far as story time. And it doesn't have to be like a professional, but if somebody in the area would love to do that, it would just, I think, be well received.
Sure.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of programming on now, and we're looking for the fresh program, but also encouraging our producers to
most definitely,
to do more variety of programming. And there's certain things we actually do with anyone that has an interest, Jan, and I want to mention this.
Yes.
They literally can contact you and get further details, but all the areas, and over the years, I'll say some of the most popular programs popular were the early morning children's program for Saturday morning, like you say. There's a business journal we have that we try to feature outstanding businesses and support the chamber. I think too, and you mentioned entertainment, but we're willing to listen and look at any person that comes forth, gets in touch with you, and will present what their ideas are.
Yes, we ask them actually to do a synopsis of what their programming will be, and whether it'll be a one-time program that's sort of the same, or whether it'll be more of a variety. In other words, various guests, which gives, of course, the producer an option to have much more variety in what they would present. And they could do it on a monthly basis, every other week. They could do it on a weekly basis. That's really up to the producer and studio time that's available. which, you know, we're actually hoping we'll get into a crunch. Like, we will get so many new producers that would, you know, be on the show that we'll have to really, you know, work, and it'll be a first come, first served basis. That would be my goal.
Yeah.
That, you know, you have to sign up early if you want to have a spot at Bowie Studio.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
And I know that's exactly why we brought Jan on board, is to get this sort of information out to the viewers and the community. And it's amazing, a lot of things going on I read about in the newspaper would be perfect. It'd be neat if a sports program
would be
produced.
Great if a sports program. I mean, there's just, you know, I know there's sports junkies out there.
Sure. That's right.
You know, and even if you just want to, you know, talk the same way you would, frankly, guys and gals, the way you would, you know, during halftime or the commercial break, the same way you can do a show. It doesn't take rocket science to be a producer and do a show that's going to be interesting.
Right.
So don't be afraid to think that, you know, you don't have the skills, you don't have the talent. If you've got a hobby or an interest, then chances are there's another person out there in the community that does too.
Absolutely, Jan. And that's what we're appealing to our viewers for. And there's some available training in the studio.
Absolutely. Excellent. We have excellent studio staff.
Absolutely.
So such talented volunteers and regular staff that are part of the city. So again, there is just nothing to be afraid of. You'll be welcomed and well trained, and so we're just anxious to have people think about what they might like to do.
Sure. And even if they would like to come in and learn how to do a camera,
absolutely, and
not produce a show, they're welcome.
Sure, because sometimes, you know, just being behind the scenes gives you the bug to be in front of the camera. Sure. So, you know, if you want to sort of sneak up on it and get your comfort level up, but you have like a show in the back of your mind, you know, that's great. Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, one of our person running our #1 camera today is a intern. Mm-hmm. And where are you from? Bowie, but do you go to school in Bowie? Or? No. Well, and we have a lot of people from the University of Bowie State come in
yes.
and intern,
mm-hmm.
and that we're interested more,
yes.
having more. And we'd like to see some of the younger people in Bowie that work like at Bowie High School mm-hmm. to come in and see a studio that's really geared up almost like a professional studio.
Yes.
And you can actually look over the shoulder of the director, or mm-hmm. or you may become a director even if you don't want to run a camera.
Right.
So there's many opportunities, and I know we've probably got a dozen possibilities we could mention, but yes. I think the whole idea is to make this BCMC's interest mm-hmm. is having community activities. We really are right now interested in Bowie
yes.
residents.
Yes.
Because that's where the viewing is, mm-hmm. and we have certain criteria, and that's why we ask for an application for a producer. And of course, we want them to present their ideas with the application,
yes.
and they'll be interviewed by Jan, who will be in the studio during the week, and you can make an appointment with her, and the phone numbers you'll see. Jan, I want to switch gears just a tad,
sure.
and that is because of your experience in workforce development and the mm-hmm. Chamber of Commerce. Mm-hmm. Do you notice any, our local economy, for instance, is probably one of the best.
Yes.
Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Maryland is probably one of the best in the nation. Mm-hmm. I think our unemployment in Maryland is 7-something.
Yes.
Much lower than the national average. In Washington, D.C., I'm not sure, and Virginia's is around the same thing.